we are going to start our next chapter, second chapter, The Elixir of Life. It is written by C.V. Raman. C.V. Raman is a very familiar person for all of us who discovered the Raman effect and got Nobel Prize for Physics in 1930. One of the best Indian citizens. He is proud for us. He made us proud. So, in this lesson, C.V. Raman is discussing with us about water. In this lesson, we are seeing many aspects of water, like the importance of water, the beauty of water, and what are the problems we face presently in our society or in this generation. How we have to conserve water for the next generation. These all things we are discussing in this chapter. So let us begin. Man has through the ages sought in vain for an imaginary elixir of life, the divine Amrita, to confer immortality. But the true elixir of life lies near to our hands, for it is the commonest of all liquids, plain water. So in the first paragraph, the author C.V. Raman, he is comparing two things. One is imaginary elixir and one is the real elixir. So first of all, what is elixir? The meaning of elixir is a liquid which can provide a prolonged life, or it will give you a long life indefinitely. Life won't be having an end. So we have seen, like in our like epics or in many stories, we have seen about elixir of life. So in this whole generation, in this whole life, since the man has got birth, or the man has got the knowledge of elixir or the idea of elixir, since that time man is behind finding elixir for life, because we don't like to die. We want a prolonged life. We want a long life in this earth. So in these ages, man is behind the invention or behind the search of elixir. It is imaginary elixir. It is called divine Amrita. We have seen in our epic stories like Mahabharata and all, the divine Amrita. If you get that, if you drink that, you won't be having death. You won't die and you won't get old. Always you will be young. So man is, in these old ages, man is behind finding the imaginary elixir, finding the divine Amrita. But C.V. Raman saying in this lesson that the real elixir is very near to us. It is very near to our hand. That is called water. Water is the real elixir of life. I remember one day standing on the line which separates the Libyan desert from the valley of the Nile in Egypt. On one side was visible a sea of billowing sand without a speck of green or a single living thing anywhere visible on it, while on the other side lay one of the greenest, most fertile and densely populated areas to be found anywhere on the earth, teeming with life and vegetation. What made this wonderful difference? Why, it is the water of the river Nile flowing down to the Mediterranean from its sources a couple of thousands of miles away. So in the second paragraph, we are getting an idea of Nile river and how it is separated the Libyan desert and Egypt. So the writer C.V. Raman is saying that one day he was standing on the line which is separating Libyan desert and the Nile, the valley of the Nile in Egypt. So he is saying that it is very clear to see the separation. One side, it's complete desert except sand, nothing can see there. There is no life, there is no greenery, there is no plants, there is no life at all. In the other side, completely green, full of life, full of vegetation and life, that is Egypt, the Nile Valley. So what is the difference? What made this wonderful difference? The writer is asking that what made this wonderful difference? So one side, this river is flowing in the center. One side of the river, it's completely desert. There is no life at all. Only sand we can see. The ocean of sand we can see. That's why the writer is saying billowing sand. It's like an ocean, a big ocean of sand, and the other side we can see the complete life with full of vegetation, different types of plants, densely populated areas, full of greenery. It's very fertile land. So what made this difference? So the reason, it is the water of the river Nile flowing down to the Mediterranean from its sources a couple of thousand miles away. Who made this difference, or what made this difference? The difference is, who made this difference? The water of the Nile, water of the river Nile made this wonderful difference. It's coming from the Mediterranean. No, it's coming to the Mediterranean from a source of thousands miles away. It is coming from 1,000 miles away to the Mediterranean. This, the Nile river made this beautiful, this wonderful difference. Geologists tell us that the entire soils of the Nile Valley is the creation of the river itself. It was brought down as the finest silt in its floodwater from the highlands of Abyssinia and from remote Central Africa, and laid down through the ages in the trough through which the Nile flows into the sea. Egypt, in fact, was made by its river. Its ancient civilization was created and is sustained by the life-giving waters which come down year after year with unfailing regularity. So geologists, we know geologists who is studying about the rocks, about the soil and all. So they are saying, the geologists are saying that the Nile Valley is completely made up of the river. The Nile River made this complete Nile Valley. It is coming from the Abyssinia, or it is coming from the remote Central Africa. This river is coming from that place. While it is flowing from there, it is taking and coming the complete silt, the finest silt, finest soil from that place, and it is filling here. It is fixing here. So this, the soil, the finest silt is coming from the Abyssinia or the remote Central Africa. This all finest silt is coming to this Nile Valley, and this, now what we are saying, the finest Egypt, finest Nile Valley is created here. So who created the Nile Valley? The Nile River only created the Nile Valley. The writer is saying like that. So Egypt, in fact, was made by its river. Egypt, what we see, the fertile Egypt, the fertile Nile Valley is created by the Nile River only. The ancient civilization was created and is sustained by the life-giving waters which come down year after year with unfailing regularity. So without any fail, every year, without getting any break, daily or year by year, this water is flowing by collecting the finest silt from these two places like remote Central Africa or Abyssinia. It is collecting all the finest silt and it made a wonderful fertile land that is called Egypt. In these ages, we have seen this. The writer is saying that. So who is saying this? Geologists are saying that this Nile Valley or this beautiful fertile Egypt is created by the Nile River only. I give this example and could give many others to emphasize that this common substance which we take for granted in our everyday life is the most potent and most wonderful thing on the face of our earth. It has played a role of vast significance in shaping the course of the earth's history and continues to play the leading role in the drama of life on the surface of our planet. So the writer is saying that why he has taken this as an example to tell about water. The writer only saying that there are a lot of other examples, many other examples are there to make you understand the importance of water. One substance, one common substance that is the most wonderful and potent and the most wonderful thing on the earth, that is called water. To tell that water, the importance of water, the writer is giving the best example, that is the difference between Libyan desert and Egypt, and how the Nile River, how the water of the Nile River made this fertile land. That is the example, that is the best example C.V. Raman giving to us to make us understand the beauty of water, the importance of water. It has played a role of vast significance in shaping the course of the earth history and continues to play the leading role in the drama of life on the surface of our planet. This is not only the one example, there are a number of examples to tell that the importance of water. Water made this beautiful earth. If you check the history, if you go through the history of earth, without water there is no chapter. water is very important in the history of earth, that the writer is telling to us. So the writer is saying that this is not only the one example, there are number of examples to tell that, to make us understand the importance of water, because water is playing the significant role in our earth. It created the history, it was the most important thing in shaping the history of our earth, and still now it is playing the leading role of the drama of life on this earth. Next paragraph. There is nothing which adds so much to the beauty of the countryside as water, be it just a little stream trickling over the rocks, or a little pond by the wayside where the cattle quench their thirst of an evening. The rain-fed tanks that are so common in South India, alas, often so sadly neglected in their maintenance, are a cheering sight when they are full. They are of course shallow, but this is less evident since the water is silt-laden and throws the light back, and the bottom does not therefore show up. These tanks play a vital role in South Indian agriculture. Some of these tanks are surprisingly large, and it is a beautiful sight to see the sunrise or set over one of them. Water in a landscape may be compared to the eyes in a human face. It reflects the mood of the hour, being bright and gay when the sun shines, turning to dark and gloomy when the sky is overcast. So in this paragraph, the main thing is the writer is telling about the rain-fed tanks of South India. This is one of the most important questions in the exams. What is the cheering sight of South India? That is rain-fed tanks. We all may have seen that in our areas like South Indian areas. We are seeing that rain-fed tanks. When the rain comes, the water will be filled in the tanks. So C.V. Raman is saying that there is no, if you compare something with water, there is nothing which gives beauty to the world more than water. There is nothing which adds beauty to the countryside as water. It can be any form of water. It can be a small stream, or it can be a small river, it can be a small pond. Whatever it is, water is the most beautiful thing in the world. So he is giving an example, that is the rain-fed tanks. So he is saying that in South Indian areas, we can see the most cheering sight is rain-fed tanks, but people are neglecting that in the maintenance. We are not maintaining that properly, even though it is looking most beautiful thing. When it is beautiful, that also the writer is saying very clearly in this paragraph. When the sunrise or sunset, this sunrise and sunset, when we watch, when the sun is coming just above the water, when the rain-fed tanks are full, when the sun is rising, just it is coming above the water, it is comparing to the human eye. Eyes in the face, it is comparing to the human eye on a face. That too much beauty, this sunrise or sunset, when it is coming above the water level, it is giving that much beauty. So this rain-fed tanks, of course, it is very small, it is shallow, but even though it like the silt, the finest silt, sand, and these all things are like it came and it filled on the bottom. So this bottom is not clear to see, but when the water is filling, it is filling to the top. When the sun rising or sun setting, when it is coming just above the water level, it is making the most beautiful vision in that place. So that is like it is giving the mood of the hour. Like for example, if the sunrise, in the sunrise time, sun is shining like very brightly, the most beautiful vision, or it is going to the dark and it is showing the gloominess, the sadness of the sky. So the rain-fed tanks are the most beautiful sight in the South India. When it is the most beautiful time, when the water is filled up to the top, and at that time when the sun is coming just above the level of the water, that is comparing to the human eye on a face, and it is the most beautiful vision to see. So this is for today. Let's continue in the next video. When you're watching this video, as every time I'm saying, when you're watching this video, if you're getting any doubts, you can comment on the comment box. If you have any doubts, I will be clearing in the next video. So that's all. Please find some time to read the chapter. I already have mentioned the link to get the textbook. You can download the textbook PDF format as completely free. You don't need to pay any money for that. You can download the textbook PDF format free. Already one link I have shared in the first video. Even in this video also I will be keeping the link. You can download the textbook, and after watching this video, and if you are a student, after watching this video, I recommend 5 minutes to read the chapter, because after watching this class, if you read the chapter, you will get the chapter very clearly. Then you will get some doubts and you can ask me, or you can ask your teachers to clear your doubts. So have a nice day. Thank you.